The status of the Strait of Hormuz remains unclear. Iran says it has halted oil tanker traffic because of the fighting in Lebanon. That continues. The White House says shipping through the strait has now picked up. Data from marine traffic shows just a few ships going through. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the strait, though, is now open. Listen to him.
A lot of people are going to say a lot of things, claim a lot of things. What has been agreed to, what's been stated, is the strait is open. Our military is watching. I'm sure their military is watching, but commerce will flow. And that's what you saw the markets react to, is that reality.
President Trump says the U.S. will help get traffic moving through the strait, perhaps in cooperation with Iran. Jakob Larsen is the head of maritime security at BIMCO, and he joins us now from Copenhagen. Very good to see you as we continue to try and figure this out. Can you give us the very latest? I've got the map up right now, and when I went to refresh, it did look like there was some activity in the strait. But you tell me, what do you see?
Yeah, what we are seeing is really the usual pattern we've seen over the last few weeks, that each day a few ships manage to pass through, some of them apparently in coordination with Iran, while others, they take their chances and hug the Omani coast and make their way out. But right now, we're not seeing any signs of any sort of significant volumes of shipping starting to move out.
And that is interesting. We just had J.D. Vance tell us in the last hour that he says more traffic is moving, but you judge that no, that's not true. It's been what it has been for a few weeks now.
To me, it looks like the usual pattern. I'm not aware of which data the Vice President is referring to.
Now, even if the strait is opened, you point out the navigation risks here to try and get more vessels that are currently stuck there. Can you just go through some of those risks? And again, that's if the diplomacy works.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, subject to an agreement really coming through and that we will see a transit regime unfold here, there are risks involved, obviously. If right now there are approximately 1,000 ships in the Persian Gulf waiting to get out through the Strait of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz is confined waters. It's around 20 miles wide and lots of navigational obstacles. And imagine you have a large quantity of ships trying to make their way out on the same time. That could present navigational hazards, risks of collisions and groundings and the like. So this is why we have encouraged authorities to try to coordinate any exit from the Persian Gulf so that it happens in a coordinated and safe fashion.
So you mentioned the risk of grounding, the risk of collisions. So how do you see this playing out operationally? And again, we point out there has to be a ceasefire, a good one, and Iran has to agree to open the strait beforehand. But just operationally, do you believe there needs to be an escort? Does there have to at least be communication with Iran? What do shipping companies and those shipping operators want to see? What do they have to see?
Yeah, I think right now the industry is waiting for some assurances from Iran that the strait is open. And we haven't got that yet. Iran is actively communicating currently in the strait via VHF radio that the strait is closed unless transit is specifically permitted by Iran, and only a very few ships are allowed to go through. So we're waiting for some assurances from Iran. And you ask whether escorts will be necessary. Depends on how these assurances are given, what level of assurance we can be given. And it may be that it's okay to transit without escorts, but it may also be that it could be nice to have escorts tagging along. At least it will provide a level of assurance to the merchant ships out there, that in the event that, for example, a mistake happens and a missile is launched in error from Iran, then there will be someone to defend the ship against that. So escorts would be nice, but on the face of it, I don't think it's very likely anytime soon.
And Jacob, I have to ask you, if you're a large shipping company right now and you're either looking to go into the strait or you already are in the strait and are needing to go out, what are you looking for? We had a lot of discussion in the early days of this conflict about things like insurance. At this point in time, if you get those assurances from Iran and from a deal, is that enough for these large shippers to get things moving?
Yeah, I think it will be enough for them to at least try to get through. And as always in shipping, Some ship owners are more averse to risk than others, so there will be those that are willing to go first and test the water, so to speak. And if they are successful, then others will follow. That's how it works. So we're now waiting for the assurances. We're waiting for a more firmed up concept on how this should take place, and then I'm sure that ship owners will be ready to start to move.
Especially if they're already stuck there, they will take the risk, of course, to try and leave. I want to ask you about this issue of tolls and whether or not anyone can charge tolls here. Do you see any kind of system, especially if it involves Iran, a system of tolls working? Is it needed? Would the shippers ever go for it?
I think in practical terms, it's doable. And whether we want to go down that route or not is not really a question for shipping to answer. It's more really a political question. So if there is general political agreement that this is what shipping should do, shipping will do as they're told. And the amounts that I've heard was around $2 million per ship going out. And to me, that sounds like roughly $1 per barrel in tolls. And while it's perhaps unpleasant for consumers, I think it's still within what is manageable.
Interesting. Jakob Larsen, really grateful to you. We always learn so much when you give us the status report on the shipping conditions right now in the Strait. Appreciate it.